What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Somewhere Between with Heather Harris. Yee! Okay, where we are all somewhere between psychotic and iconic, I want it and I got it, and crashing out and locking in. Okay, and wherever you find yourself this week, child, we are here to talk it out so we can get it out, so we continue to walk it out and do what God told us to do. Okay, because we got a lot of stuff to do. So let's get into this video because we also are always on a time crunch. Okay, I literally have like 15 minutes because like my mama coming in town. I gotta go pick her up, and if I'm not there to pick her up, she's gonna be really upset, and we can't have her upset. So let's do all the things which involve me telling you thank you for clicking on whatever you clicked on to get here, whether you are watching on YouTube or listening on podcast. Okay, where we are now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the things. So lock in, tap in, tell a friend to tell a friend. She's back. Yeah, she back. Child, coming off a crazy week, but I was having this conversation and reflecting on some of the amazing things that my friends were sharing with me during my surprise birthday party that I got to have here in LA. Like, what? Shout out to my friends. What? Shout out to my besties, Renee and Sierra, for doing that. Because what? I have friends? Anyway, the thought that has been raised for me this week is that just because I haven't gotten the results yet does not mean that I'm not doing the right things. And the only way that I can find out if there have even been results or progress is to put some weight on it. And how we don't really be wanting to put weight on it. Like, we be putting the work in, but then you don't want to test it, and you don't want to like put no weight on it to really see like what's going on and what's happening, to really see how far you've come and how far you might gotta still go. And I had this thought, which I wrote it down because y'all know I'm a notes girly, so that we can like be FFR for real. And I said, you cannot be so afraid of the failure or embarrassment or humiliation that you don't try again and again, because you don't know how close you are. And granted, like, I wasn't reading that to like sound like prolific or anything like that, because a lot of times it's really just that simple. Like, we allow the fear of failing, of being embarrassed, being humiliated, being left out, being rejected, to keep us, really the rejection, okay? Because let's talk about rejection, to keep us from even like trying and seeing how far we've come. We will literally gather all this information, read every book, take every class, and do all the things and never apply it, and never figure out like if what we're learning is even like taking root in us. And it can only take root if you apply it. It can only take root the more that you do the thing. Yeah, if you don't put weight on it, you're never going to actually be able to identify what you really should be working on, because you might actually be working on something or working at something that you are phenomenal at, and you really need to be working on this thing over here. But you will know that because you're not even testing yourself. You're not even taking yourself out there, putting yourself out there to find out, you know? Yeah. You're not putting yourself out there to even find out. And you got to put yourself out there to find out in order to find out. Or else how else you going to find out? I just, how black people be saying stuff like multiple times. It just kind of happen. Okay. How this came about. It can be really hard to form like adult friendships, right? Adult friendships and villages and like all this other stuff. Like, it's just really hard. It's really hard to have a pimp once you're trying to get the money for the rent. And my best friend said something to me that took root in me, because I had like some disappointment around my birthday last year, just because certain things happened and like certain things, didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to. And I was like, that's never happened to me before, whatever. And I was just like, well, it's just because like I don't have family out here, and I don't have a village out here, so like that's why this birthday was like this. So I just need to like go back home where I do have a family and where I do have a village and to do whatever. And what she told me was that she was like, I think because of how things went last year, you're not realizing how much work you actually put into building relationships during that time. And so when they threw me this surprise party, I was just like, I'm thinking it's just going to be like the girls and like my 2 cousins, because like, duh. And to see like all the people that were like there, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, like, you're my friend? Like, you're my friend, but like, you're my friend? Like, what? I wouldn't expected you to come. And they were like, duh, like, what do you mean? And she was just like, I don't think you realize how much work you put into building relationships and building these friendships and building these connections and all of these things. Like, you did that, and it is there, and the progress is there. And I was like, oh, I did. But because I was so afraid of, feeling humiliated and like lonely and like embarrassed and like rejected again, I didn't even put myself in a position to even like ask anybody, hey, or like put myself out there of like, hey, I'm going to throw this for my birthday party, or hey, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. I was just like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I do not have the capacity to deal with it. And in them putting this thing together for me, which was like the sweet, I've always said that like I wanted to have a surprise party for my birthday. Like, I've always said that. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it because that's like, I love it. It was so great, and they really freaking surprised me. But in them doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I have done that. But I wasn't doing it to like receive any type of thing. I wasn't putting in that work to like receive some award of like, see, I put in this work, so now you have to be my friend, or I did this, so now you got to give me that, or da da da. Like, I don't do things in my life for reciprocity. I don't. I really don't. I'm just not built like that. I give because it's in me to give. I show up for people because that's just who I am. To have been able to see the tangible like evidence of the time and the love, because it's really just love that I just poured out, instead of like running back to Dallas, because I also just don't be staying in LA like I should, right? But to allow myself to really take a moment and sit in it, and whatever happens, and trust these people and put weight on it, I was able to see, oh my gosh, like I have done that, and I do have this. What? That's crazy. But because I've been disappointed in the past, and as I don't know if I've shared it, I've shared it on Miss Heather Harris, so go ahead and lock in and, subscribe over there. But, friendship was my first heartbreak. Not love, not family, but friendship. It was my first heartbreak. And so putting myself out there is not the easiest thing for me, to do. And so I just won't. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. It's just like, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep, put my head down with like no expectation of actually ever, getting a result out of it, or actually getting the thing, or actually getting the goal. It's the same, same way I kind of like view acting. Like, my job is to audition. My job is to be in class. If there is a amazing project and booking that comes from that, amen, that's the cherry on top. But I'm in this for the work of it, not for, the big sparkly things. Those are just like great. That's just like an extra cherry on top. But me getting to do what I love every single day, that is what I'm supposed to be doing. Me getting to spend time with people that I love and that I enjoy every single day, that is what I'm supposed to be doing. That is just like what's happening. So anyway, that's really how like this came about. And so I was like, well, how often do we do that? Where we're in the classes, we're taking the courses, we're studying, we're going to the gym, we're doing this, we're doing that, whatever it is, but we're not even like putting weight on the thing that we've actually like been working towards, to figure out and recognize how far we come, because we're too afraid of how far we gotta go still. That's not fair to who you were, yesterday, or who you were 3 months ago, to not even freaking try and find out, because you can only move forward if you apply. You can only move forward if you apply what you've learned, if you apply the tools that have been given to you. It makes me think about Galatians 6:9, where it says, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap your harvest. And I also like 10 too, because it say, continue to do good unto those who believe, and like all the other stuff. But do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap your harvest. I feel like the times that I've grown weary in doing good and doing what I'm supposed to be doing and continuing on this path and the work that I'm doing, it's come from me not actually applying the things that I've been learning, or taking, whatever shot, or acknowledging the growth that is there. Being too afraid that it won't get me where I really want to go and where I really want to be. Because if I check, it's like when you be in the kitchen and it's like you checking your food, it's like, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? It's not ready. Let the timer go off, But if you just keep adding time to that timer and you're not even looking at your mac and cheese in there, baby, that thing gonna burn up. You might have put in too much time. You may not, you may realize that it may not be, the right temperature. You may realize you might need to stir it a little bit. But if you ain't even going, check it. And I ain't saying be compulsively over checking and all the things, but there has to be some type of metric, some type of system and metric that we are doing to it's checks and balances. It's in the government. We learned that in social studies. Checks and balances. Okay, you check it so you can balance it. Amen. Hallelujah. I don't even know if that's really right, but you get the vibes. Anyway, so yeah. As I was thinking about this, it made me think about my first movie that I booked, my first feature film, which was Sisters for Life. It was on Lifetime. You can watch it. I don't mind y'all watching that one. You can watch it. Okay. But the way that I am even here today, the way that I've even been able to have the success that I have today, was because I was not only in the classes and gathering the information, but I finally took a shot on myself and said, you know what? Let me just see what happens with what I got. Because so many times we think, well, if I just talk to the right person and if I just get the right answer, that things will magically click and they'll magically come together. Yeah, you can talk to the right person and get the right answer. And if you don't do nothing with it, nothing's going to happen. You're going to be sitting right where you are. We be waiting for other people to do something for us. This is not back in the day when like you could just be in a grocery store looking hot and cute and somebody discover you and boom, you famous. Or you could be, at the post office or at your job or whatever it is, and then you just sing a little melody and somebody's like, oh my gosh, you're a star. And they pick you up and now you're Whitney Houston. Who knows? Like, this is not that time. And so anyway, it took me applying everything that I learned in this one moment and saying, you know what? I had a homeboy, shout out to Dre. He's doing phenomenal things, Power, oh my gosh, he just done something recently. I can't even remember right now in the moment, but like, shout out to him. That's my dog, Big Period. He had already told me, you need to go on this casting website. You need to do this. You need to sign up for that. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't do it. A couple months later, I was finally like, you know what? Bump this. Like, my unemployment about to run out from, my job because it was the pandemic. And I was like, tell me one more time. So he broke it down to me one last time. And when I tell you, I went onto those websites, I made all the profiles, whatever, and I just applied to like 2 random gigs for like $200 in Oklahoma. I was like, bet, I'll do it. Like, I don't even care. I'm just literally trying. It was $200 in Oklahoma and it was a student film. And I was like, I just need stuff so I can make a reel so that I can, submit it to agencies. Boom, cool, whatever. But I'm at least going to try. And I had been in this class over the pandemic. Shout out to Dijon Talton. Learning how to act for camera, because it's a completely different medium. Theater, what I've been trained in, and TV and film, 2 totally different. Like, it's different muscles, babes, and learning how to do a self-tape. I had no idea how to do that. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to put something together and we're just going to figure it out. Right. And so literally by the grace of God, by the grace of the Lord, our God, I booked, and this could be another story for another podcast, child, because I told you I got to go. But by the grace of God, child, I submitted them tapes, and from that one tape that I submitted for $200 in Oklahoma with 3 lines, I was supposed to be bookish pledge, okay, bookish pledge, saying 3 lines, Therefore, one day going about my business. And God said, my good and faithful servant. And he multiplied that thing, right? And then because one of the girls got sick, the director was like, there's something about this girl. I want you to be our, what was her name? I don't even know what the girl name was, but I want you to take this role. And I didn't know what the role was. And then come to find out, that was one of the supporting roles. Like, I went from being number 13, number 14 on call sheet to number 3, number 4. Girl, 10 spots. All because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I've learned enough to at least try. And here we are today. And that's how I like booked that, you know, and God will meet you in your surrender. God will meet you in your try. God will meet you in that and multiply that. And there are only things that you can learn from applying, from doing it. I had been on set before. I had done, you know, like some local movies or short films or whatever, but I had never been on like a feature film set. Like, I'd never done this before, you know. I'd only done what I knew, and so I just had to like figure it out, and I learned it in the moment, and I used everything from all the classes to figure it out, and I did. And by the grace of God, 6 Lifetime movies later, 3 seasons with All American Homecoming, and some more stuff to come, I get to sit here today and tell y'all, honey, you just gotta start doing it. You just gotta start doing it, figuring it out, applying what you got, because you ain't gonna know until you do it. And the gag is when you gather and apply and gather and apply and gather and apply and learn and apply and learn and apply, you don't realize that like each time you apply, you're applying on a higher level than you applied before. And so you're going like this, you know, and it may not look like that. It may not feel like big strides, but baby, you're applying at a higher level and doing it at a higher, you're executing at a different level than you did before. And that builds up to the more that you're working towards. But if you don't at least apply something and figure something out, you're never going to be able to learn things that you don't know. The things that you can only learn on the other side of the try. Because the results don't have to be big for the work to be paying off. And you ain't gonna know if it's paying off until you try. If it's worth it, let me work it. I put a thing down, flip it and reverse it. 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 Okay? It's your piece of pretty blanket. Okay? Because it's all in the little things. It's all in the little things. Because in the meantime of that, you're also building your character, which I've talked about. It don't matter about you getting to where you going if you're a terrible person, right? It don't matter about you getting the job and doing this and doing that if in the process of it, you're not only building your strength, but you're building your character. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, yes, I am talented by the grace of God, and I am gifted, and people recognize that and know that. But the thing that makes a lasting impression on people is my character, is my heart, is who I am while I'm there, is the work ethic that I have. You can be the most talented person, you can be the most strongest person, but if your work ethic is terrible, if you're rude and mean to people, ain't nobody gonna work with you, ain't nobody gonna deal with you. If your character is stank, don't nobody want to deal with you. You'll be like, yeah, she's a great actress, but like hated working with her. Yeah, she's a great businesswoman, but she ain't got no good time management. But she don't know how to handle people. She don't know how to deal with people. She don't know how to communicate. Because your character, who you are, who you're becoming in the midst of all of this, right, is what's going to make the biggest impact when you get where you're going. The lasting impact. Because we won't have, the moments forever. Right? We won't have you won't be in that position forever. But the impact that you make on those people's lives at that job, with those kids, that will last a lifetime. This is what I wrote down. Don't get lost in just catching the ball that you don't know what to do with it when you get it. Meaning, we be so focused on getting the ball, catching the ball, right? And if you're a football watcher, even like a basketball watcher, whatever, can you imagine You've been so focused on catching the ball. You've been so focused on, let me catch the ball, let me catch the ball, let me get the ball, let me get the ball, let me get the ball. Then when you get the ball, you're like, I got the ball. And now you got linebackers coming at you to tackle you for what you got that you don't even know what to do with. And you got people behind you and on the side of you who are in full support of you, ready to protect you, ready to put their lives on the line to protect you because they believe you know what to do with it. And can you imagine you just being there like, I have no idea what to do with this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Because you were so focused on catching it that you missed out on getting the things and picking up the knowledge and all the things and recognizing the importance of the progress in the midst of that. Yeah, because the results don't have to be big for it to be paying off. It does not have to be big for it to be paying off. It does not have to be. Some of the smallest improvements can be the biggest result that you will ever have. Some of the smallest things that we improve on are the things that literally matter the most and will carry you through when you do get it, right? If you're so focused on catching the ball, right, that you never spent any time at practice learning what to do when you get the ball, learning what you're supposed to do when you get the ball, right? It's going to be like, well, then why did we give him the ball? Why did we give them the ball if they didn't know what to do with it? Why did we give them the ball if they just thought that the only thing that was important was just getting it? Because that's not the most important thing. The end result is not the most important thing. It's also learning what to do with it when you get it. Because again, you caught this ball and now you got people trying to come at you and attack you and kill you because you got the ball. You got what they want. And they worried about what you gonna do with it that's gonna impact them or harm them or keep them from doing whatever, right? And you got people that are behind you and beside you who are in full support of you and believing you. And you didn't even do the proper work or the proper practice to know what to do when you got it. To know how to be a leader, to know how to make the touchdown, or to even know how to pass the ball. Because maybe you ain't supposed to be the one to run the ball. Maybe you're supposed to be the one that throw the ball. Maybe you're not supposed to be the one that throw the ball. Maybe you're supposed to be the one that runs it. And if you don't know where you're running to, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So you can't spend all your time in practice just dreaming about catching the ball. That you don't actually put yourself out there to learn what to do with it when you get it. You can't do that. That defeats the purpose. That defeats the purpose. What's the point of getting signed to the agency or getting signed to that company or getting that job if when you get the title, when you get the opportunity, you don't even know what to do with it? And you actually don't even know how far you can take it because you never tried. You never put yourself in environments to actually figure out what you could really do. So put yourself in an environment to figure out what you can do with what you got. Because you can never learn the thing until you just do the thing. It's going to take you catching the ball and getting hit a couple of times for you to know, all right, when I catch this ball, I need to go left. When I catch this ball, I need to go right. Or before I catch this ball, I need to scan around and see what they're doing over there and see what my opponents is doing. Or before I catch this ball, I need to make sure that my right and my left is covered. So then when I catch it, I know that I'm fully backed and protected and I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing. And even if I do get knocked down, I know how to dust myself off. I know I might need some water, some pickle juice, some electrolytes, you know what I'm saying? A little snacky snack so that then we can readjust and get right back into the game. But we literally are so afraid of failing, are so afraid of getting hit, are so afraid of getting knocked down that we do not try. That we do not just keep trying until we do it. I would have never found out how good I really was or how good I wasn't if I literally didn't put myself out there. If I didn't just make those tapes, if I didn't just use what I had. Because the gag is, once you put yourself out there, once people see it, they're like, you got a little something. Other people can tell you. You may not be met with rejection. You might be met with redirection. You might be met with the information that you really need, because they're going to be like, well, you know, you really actually got this down pat. It's actually this you need to be working on over here. Let me connect you with this person. But if you don't put yourself out there and you don't at least try, and you're not okay with like getting it wrong or not fully being ready where you are, you're never going to find out. And we got to find out. You got to find out. So it's just like how we were in school. Oh my heavens. That's why we had progress reports. Duh. That's why they used to give us progress reports, kids. Because halfway through the 6 weeks, I don't know how y'all school was set up, okay, but mine in Texas, halfway through the 6 weeks, you get your little progress report from your teachers, and you can meet up with your teacher. They'll be like, look, you need to turn this assignment in, that assignment. We got this assignment coming up, and you need to make this grade on this one, and then you be good. But if you never give yourself a progress report, if you never look at the progress, you're never going to know what you need to be working on or what you could be doing to make up for the gap to where you want to be. Again, that's why we had progress reports, so that we could find out and we could look at it and we could see how far we've come, and we could see maybe what we started slacking on and we need to pick up on, or we could ask for help in specific areas. But don't be so afraid at looking at your results and putting weight on where you are. But don't be so afraid with trying or testing the progress that you have made. Just putting yourself out there with what you have, because you're never going to find out how close you actually are. Because I'm telling you, you could be closer than you are. You could actually be there. You could actually have the friendships that you've been praying for. You could actually have the career that you've been crying to God about. I don't even know what else the other thing is. Like, you could actually have a body that you want. But you so focused on, like, but you don't even want to look at your progress. And sometimes it's good to like not look, right? So set up time markers, set up checkpoints, set up progress reports, you know, with your friends. Break your, like, the best thing that I've done is breaking my, year up into quarters, because then I'm not so focused on like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of this within this year. It's so overwhelming. 12 months, Jesus. No, just break that thing up. And I actually need to look at my own progress report, okay? But I think I'm doing pretty good, because we in Q2, and somewhere between, it's officially launched. She is now, expanded to a podcast. I'm like doing phenomenal, doing some phenomenal work when it comes to my acting. Like, child, what? Whether you think I'm booked or busy or not, the bread is in the pudding. Is that what it is? That I've been really questioning if that's how we actually supposed to say that. The bread is in the pudding. The pudding is in the bread. I don't know. It's there. If you want to look at it, it's there. And sometimes you just need an opportunity to show and prove to yourself that you got it. Because you got it. You got it. You're on the right track. Keep applying what you know. Keep trying. Because again, you ain't going to know unless you apply. You ain't going to know and figure it out unless you try. And it's all information. Everything's information. But you sitting up here collecting all this information, collecting all these books and all this other stuff, that it's collecting dust. And you'll never find out because you're too afraid to fail. And I told y'all, I actually do not believe that we are as afraid to fail as we make ourselves believe. At least I know for myself, I'm not. I think we're afraid of what other people will think about us if we do fail, and what that will mean if we do fail. But who cares? It's only failure if I quit. It's only failure if I stop. And I'm not stopping. So do your progress reports. Okay. I want everyone to submit their progress reports to me. Okay. We're gonna, that's so cute. I actually like that. I think we're going to make that be a thing. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I think I really like that. We will be submitting progress reports somewhere between. Don't let it scare you. Don't be afraid of it. Let it be something that you're like, oh, I may not have been doing that, but I started doing that. Okay, that's something. And let the little wins motivate you. Because if you can make small progress, then eventually it builds up to big progress. You ain't got to make big leaps and big steps. Little bit by little bit, step by step, day by day. Okay, you gonna get there someday. one way or another. But you just have to keep going until you do get it. And then when you do get it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, wait, I did what? Oh, I'm already halfway there. Oh, I'll just keep going. I just keep going. That's all? Oh, okay, I'll just keep going. That's fine. Say less. I'll just keep going. You said it's only what? Okay, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. And you can do that. And you can do this. So I'm proud of you. And I think we should like submit progress reports. I kind of think that that's cute. I don't know how we're going to do that again, but like, I think that that would be dope. Now, if there are things you know you're supposed to be doing, start doing it. Start doing it. Because you already know what you're not doing. You already know what you're shying away from. You already know that person that you need to call. You already know that lunch date you need to set up with. You already know that script or that plan you need to write. You already know that training that you need to do, right? And also, in the doing, you can find out whether or not, like I said in the last podcast episode, if that's what you want to be doing. Because you could be literally trying to get fine for summertime for your birthday or the wedding or whatever it is you got on your thing, your little snapback. I don't even know what it is, and you end up finding out, wait, okay, I know that like I was like doing all this HIIT workout stuff, but I actually kind of like running. I kind of want to do like a 5K. Oh my gosh, like that's actually not as hard as I thought it was. I don't think I'm a lifter, but I think I'm a runner. Or maybe you're like, I'm not a runner, but I might be a lifter. Or maybe you're not a lifter, you're a cycler. Or maybe you're not a cycler, you're a power walker. You don't know until you freaking do it. So just freaking do it and apply. Period. And that's all I'm going to say. Because I know I'm ranting. I got to go. Because I got to go pick up my mama because she just landed. Hey, Vic girl. Because she going to be watching this. That my girl. Anyway, and I love her so much. That's my mama. I love her so much. That's my girl. And I look like her the older that I get. And I act like her too. So don't try me. Period. Anyway. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I hope that we all take some time to do some inventory. Look at our progress. Let it inspire us. Let it make us be grateful for how far we've come. Because you are not who you were yesterday. And that is progress enough. You are not who you were 5 years ago. You are not who you were when you were scared little. Like, you are not who you were all those years ago. There was a version of you that prayed for where you are today. And if you're not where you want to be, keep praying, keep working, because it's going to happen. It's all going to happen. But we're all somewhere between that. We're all somewhere between psychotic and iconic. We're all somewhere between I want it and I got it. That's what, being somewhere between is, hello. But while we're somewhere in between, we can assess, we can reflect, we can check our progress and be proud of it. No matter how much or how little it is. Progress is progress. Like my mama say, when you get some money or whatever, my mama would be like, listen, it says, far from zero is possible. That's all that matter. Meaning, I don't care if you gave me $5 or none of that. I ain't at zero. I'm not at zero. It could be 0.5. I could have a quarter. I ain't at zero. I ain't broke because I got a quarter. And what about it? Can't say I'm not, because I have a quarter. I got a nickel. I got a nickel. I got a nickel. Hey, 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 hey. Little rascals, get into it. Anyway. All right. So check your progress. Be proud of yourself. Because I'm telling you right now, if y'all look at that, if you look at your progress and you come back to me and you was talking bad about my friend being you, I'm going to come and fight you myself. Because you have come a mighty long way. And even though there might be a ways to go, you still on your way, regardless, one way or another. Whether you got to walk, crawl, jump, leap, take a bus or a plane. I don't know. Anyway, I love y'all so much. I hope that this helped you, blessed you, whatever. And as we all continue to be on this journey of somewhere in between, I pray that you are kind to yourself. I pray that you show yourself grace and that you have gratitude for how far you've come. Because, bro, look how far we come. Yes, there's so much, there's so much further to go, but there's always further to go. There's always further to go. Okay, duh. But that's just because you want more. And not everybody want more. And not everybody can go. So, cheers to us. Cheers to us for being somewhere between. Okay. I love y'all so much. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, download, do all the things. Follow us on Instagram, on the TikTok, on the YouTube, on the whatever. I don't even know, but I'm going to put it right here on the side so you can see it. I don't know if it's on this side or that side, but you're going to see it. And yeah, make sure you do that. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me here, somewhere between. All right. Peace up. 8-time down. Man. Hey. All right. That was too much. Gotta go. Bye.